In case you just joined us, we're listening to Brent Malin here on WNJR at Acoustic Songs Live, 91.7 FM here in Washington, Pennsylvania, streaming at WNJR.org, and our handle is WNJR Radio on Instant Messaging. Brent, what are you going to play for us here?
Well, since I played these Kansas songs, I think I should play a Pittsburgh song. So this is something I've written since living in Pittsburgh, and yeah. The sun don't shine in April. Every day brings rain. The cold snaps come from Kansas like another eastbound train. But it got me one fine woman with a Mona Lisa smile. I think I'll stay in Pittsburgh for a while. A friend of mine found Jesus outside a pizza place. Smokestack from a diesel left a shadow of his face. Hey, you might not be a Christian, but you gotta like his style. I think I'll stay in Pittsburgh for a while. Flow on Allegheny, take my blues to sea. In the Onondaga, gonna bring my baby home to me. Girl I knew in high school is moving into town. She says her heart's been broken and her parents let her down. She's not happy till she's sad, each day's another trial. But I think she'll stay in Pittsburgh for a while. Flow on Allegheny, take my blues to sea. And the Onondaga, gonna bring my baby home to me. Flow on Allegheny, take my blues to sea. And the Onondaga, gonna bring my baby home to me. Bring her home to me.
Cool. I like that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I hope you do stay in Pittsburgh, man.
That's the plan.
Yeah, it's
You know, I now have a son who's a native Pittsburgher, you know, so I gotta stick around.
yeah, man. You have to go out and get the Steelers, Steelers outfit and everything.
Oh, we've already got that.
Oh, cool.
It arrived yesterday, so he's set for Sunday.
Awesome.
Sunday's game. So.
Awesome. I have some friends down in Nashville. I always love it when when that game rolls around, because then the trash talking begins.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then when the trash talking starts, then I can get fired up.
Yeah, sure. That's good.
Yeah. So you teach media, huh?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I kind of curious about picking your brain about that. Do you deal with any of the like the social media kind of all that internet media stuff, or do you just deal with maybe the traditional media?
Well, I talk about it. I'm interested in it, but I'm mostly a media historian, and even when it comes to contemporary things, I'm a media historian, and so part of my take is that all of the things that we talk about, so the revolutions of new media, digital media, a lot of those revolutions happened before with the telegraph. So, and lots of the good and the bad that people say about the internet, for instance, when it came about, and people said, oh, it's going to bring everyone so much closer together, or they said, oh, people are going to stop talking to their neighborhood or to their neighbors, and neighborhoods are going to start falling apart. People said those exact same things about the telegraph in the 19th century, right? And some of the things happened, and some of them didn't, you know. But and the telegraph made a lot of changes. So I'm interested, but always in this kind of historical perspective. So I find myself kind of oftentimes pulling people back from either their very, very positive thing about how Facebook, how it's strengthening communities, or their very, very negative look about how Facebook is kind of destroying various kinds of things, and even concerns about privacy. A lot of these things were there before. So, but I'm interested in it. But I'm also primarily interested in how it kind of repeats much of these things that happen with radio. Same things people said about radio. Now that we can hear voices, you know, we're going to become so much closer together, or people are stopping to going to hear music because it's on the radio, and you know, all these things people said, you know, in the 20s. So
that's interesting. Yeah, I wasn't you know, a communications major, you know,
yeah,
didn't focus on that stuff, but the technology aspect of, I was more of like an engineer type of thing, and
yeah,
the technology aspect of things, that working in the technology field,
yeah,
and being on, you know, having like all this new technology constantly coming out, and
sure,
being on that cutting edge of things, you know, and
yeah,
all the people that all my coworkers and people that I hung out with always had to have the latest gadget
sure,
before
yeah,
everybody else, you know.
yeah,
Even if it meant that they, you know, ran the charge card up to whatever, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I've got to have the latest new iPad, whatever, they were waiting in line for it and everything. Yeah. And I was right in that whole, like, thing, you know, so but I personally feel it seems like it has disconnected a lot of folks in some ways.
yeah, I mean, I think it's true, definitely, and probably in some of the same ways that the radio disconnected people too, and maybe in some different ways, and it also connected people in some ways.
It does, but it's very strange. Like,
yeah,
okay, I'm an older generation. Maybe I don't want to date myself or anything, but if I'm out at a bar, or I'm out in any social setting like coffee house, restaurant, or anything, and I'm sitting at a table with people, and they're texting somebody else, somewhere
sure,
else.
Oh, they're texting someone else at the table with you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And this is I only noticed this like maybe with my oldest son's generation, that they're all like kind of, their minds are somewhere like, and they're listening to you, but everybody's kind of in multiple places.
Yeah.
It seems like they're connected.
Yeah.
They can't put it down and like have a conversation.
Sure. I mean, the text,
or maybe they're just not interested
yeah,
in what you have to say. I don't know how it works, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ours might have been Walkmans, like, you know,
Yeah.
and I remember my parents kind of complaining about, I just had my headphones on and I had my Walkman, and I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't paying attention to anybody though, just the music. But I think you're right, and for me actually, text messaging, and even before that, instant messenger, that was the first kind of like technological generation gap I really felt like there were all these people instant messaging and text messaging who were younger than me mostly, and I just couldn't, I just really couldn't get myself to do it, because it just seemed like something so different than what I did or something like that. So, and so natural for these other people though to just be sending text messages all the time. So.
We used email and text messaging in my job all the time. I mean, that's how we communicated. And I got up and I walked over like 5 cubes to talk to somebody. They looked at me like, you know, why are you here? You know,
yeah.
To personally actually interact. You know,
yeah.
It's like if you call somebody on the phone nowadays on a landline, you know, landline to landline to talk to them. That's so ancient, man. It's
sure.
Like, well, I picked up the phone to call you about booking a gig. Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. Recently, someone told me that no one uses email anymore, and I.